I mean, if any brewery that's brewing like hazies or putting their hat on the fruited sour train, if you're not looking at Untapped, then you're, in my opinion, you're probably lying.
And that was Justin from Channel Marker Brewing on this week's episode of Brew Roots.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brew Roots, where we tell the stories behind your favorite beer. Joining me today is Erica and Matt.
What's up?
Hello!
We got a great episode for you this week because
we always have the greatest episodes each
right.
week.
That
what?
is right. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
I'm actually very excited for this one because this is kind of like the first, not really, but we're interviewing this brewery for the second time, and it's kind of a follow-up, so it's special.
This is the first? No, this is not the first follow-up, but this is the most recent follow-up.
Yeah, it's the most recent follow-up.
We haven't done one in a while.
Yeah, and we thought it was important because we went to this brewery before Erica or Ryan was even part of the podcast.
It was the before time.
The before time, yeah.
B-E and B-R.
I didn't even...
Before Erica, before Ryan.
I don't even think I edited this episode.
You didn't?
No.
I edited it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we made it out to Channel Marker. Well, actually, Justin came to Small Pond Studios.
Yes.
The home of Brew Roots.
The home.
Do.
But, yeah, it was important to tell the story because they weren't even open when we did this episode. And boy,
Now
did
they
things
are.
change for Channel Marker.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting because they're one of the more popular breweries in Massachusetts. And
Yeah.
I believe the area that we are recording in is probably as big as their brew space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you're
just
right.
about.
Yeah, so
Just about.
So what they're able to do in that small,
Is pretty
footprint.
amazing.
yeah, and you're going to hear more about what they're doing later on in the episode. But first, we got some pretty exciting news this week from
Do we?
our friends the Mass Brew Bros.
Oh.
Yeah, so to continue our discussion last week, they are sharing all the going-ons of Oktoberfest.
What?
So last week, our friends over at Remnant had
Yep.
their Oktoberfest.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I did not make it out that way.
No.
I was too busy
Fortunately not.
getting stung by bees spinning honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that was pretty cool.
But all the pictures I saw looked pretty awesome. And this weekend, there's some more Oktoberfest gatherings going on.
Yeah, there's definitely a bunch going on. Check out Mass Brew Brothers' article on that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool that we're still able to have some kind of a socially distanced Oktoberfest. It's not quite the same, but, it's something.
It is something, yeah.
Yeah, and last time I checked, also Notch is doing like a giveaway, like a gift card giveaway.
If you have a Drindle or...
Lederhosens.
Thank
yeah,
you, Lederhosens.
exactly.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to say the other one, so I'm glad I
Yeah,
know how to say
good. We
Lederhosens.
helped
So
to shout it
definitely
out there.
check out their social media and see if you can partake in that. If you are one of the lucky people who have one of those articles of clothing.
Right?
we really missed the mark by not getting Ryan Lederhosens or Drindle for this.
Or a
for
Drindle.
yeah.
He could have pulled off a mean Drindle.
I agree. I
Wow.
agree.
Yeah.
So this episode is powered by spaghettis.
Yes.
Well,
This is the first time that Ryan and I have had these.
Never had this since.
They're not too shabby.
so if you've listened to past episodes such as East Brother Brewing or
Ryan's favorite one in Texas.
Sockdology.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's so good.
you have heard us mention.
Sock Dollar Tree even made a beer off of it.
Yeah, it
right?
mentioned us.
That was pretty cool.
Ryan, would you care to tell our listeners what is a spaghetti for those who haven't listened to those
Yeah.
episodes?
So first off, you need to go get yourself an 18-pack of Miller High Life. All right.
Just for the record, the liquor store I went to did not have 6-packs. I asked him, "Hey, do you have sixers of Miller High Life?" And he looked at me and goes, "Nobody buys 6-packs of Miller." Cheers to you, brother.
I believe that.
So part one, you get that, you open the top off, and then you have to get and acquire a bottle of Aperol.
And we
And-
don't actually know what Aperol tastes like.
It's very citrusy and orangey for me.
I would say it's
kind of like tastes like
orangey.
a cream pop. Like
a cream pop is going. Yep. It's
Yeah.
infusion of selected herbs and roots.
I'm pretty sure there's
Product
rhubarb
of
in there.
Italy.
There's
Yeah.
rhubarb in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't taste it.
I don't either. But so then you just like fill the Aperol in what's left on the top of the bottle of the Miller High Life,
Yeah, the
which is
neck.
it's close to a shot ish, give or take.
Give or take.
And then
you enjoy.
Yeah, and then you sit back and enjoy, and you do Brew Roots episodes.
Exactly.
We're drinking that more or less as like a joke, but they are delicious. So if you haven't had one, they're delicious, probably not nutritious.
Probably
And
not.
We definitely suggest it. But
Yes.
what more importantly, we're drinking a beer that, if you follow us on social media at Brew Roots across all platforms, is Wandering Souls beer.
Yes.
Ryan picked up 2 4-packs.
I have acquired the package.
Yes.
Yes.
Ryan, tell us about this beer.
So this is Wandering Souls Past Life, which is their Vienna lager. The first time I had this was at Olio, which
Yep.
you can check that episode out.
This is the second iteration of this beer.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, it slaps. It's a really good beer. I don't know, I think I like this better
Yeah, same.
than I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember I really liked it, but this is really good. Maybe my palate's changed instead of the recipe, but I really do like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just
The
straight
can
up
art-
crispy.
Can art's also
boy.
amazing.
Yeah, I feel like we were talking earlier, he must have like, I don't know, brightened it or something. It like really stands out
Yeah,
more than I remember.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love it.
And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be releasing an episode with some of our favorite breweries.
All of our friends.
Which features Matt Smith.
Ooh, we can't say much more than that.
Nope.
Nope.
But we're pretty excited because we're going to be talking about a collaboration beer that's been, it sounds like years in the working, but really I think it's been months in the working.
Props.
Yeah.
So we're very excited to be hyping that up in the next couple of weeks, and you're going to get some more clues next week.
Yeah.
So I have something that I want the listeners, you, to do for us. So when you listen to this episode, the following Wednesday, September 30th, is going to be National Podcast Day.
What?
That's right.
Yes. I want you to do us a favor, and I want you to share one of our episodes.
Your
or
favorite episode.
Your favorite episode
Yes.
with a friend.
Or
and-
share it on social media.
Exactly.
Or share it with not a friend.
Or, right? Walk up to a stranger. Tell them about it.
Please do, actually. We
That'd
encourage
be amazing.
that. Yeah,
Make a YouTube video of it. Just going and walk
Yes.
up to random people and be like, "Hey, have you checked out Brew Roots?"
yeah.
So yeah, that'd be awesome if you guys could do that. It would really help us out a bunch. And who doesn't like National Podcast Day?
You know, it's our favorite holiday.
It's my favorite holiday.
Whoa.
Whoa. So, in commemoration of the upcoming National Podcast Day, we're going to drink some more Spaghettis and Wandering Soul, and
Totes.
we're going to get on to the episode.
Or are we?
You're going to have to just listen and find out. And we'll catch you on the outro. You're definitely going to want to hear the outro. Like, I can't stress it enough. You're going to want to hear the outro.
Listen to the outro.
Because Ryan has a huge announcement.
It's huge.
It's huge. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, so we are like 18.7. I did the Google Maps before this, miles from the Beer Mile in Beverly, Massachusetts. And we're here with the second brick and mortar location to open. And you may or may not have heard of them because they were featured in USA Today, right?
Are you sure?
I am.
I am actually
Cool.
very sure.
I'm very sure about
Nice.
that, which is pretty cool. This brewery, if you know where we are geographically, is also the second Massachusetts brewery to be featured in that USA Today article. So we are with...
Channel Marker.
That's right. Woohoo. Which, congratulations on that. That was awesome to see the North Shore represented like that.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys expect that at all?
No, definitely
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Kind of keeping our heads to the wheel and just kind of grinding it out day by day.
Yeah. So can you remind our listeners how many barrel systems you guys are on?
We are on a 2.
So
That's not 20. That's not 200. It is 2. 2 barrels.
So-
And you are...
64 gallons at a time.
Jeez, that's crazy.
would you,
It's stupid.
were you guys the smallest brewery on that list?
I believe we were.
Yeah.
I can't say that with 100% certainty, but I'm like 99% confident
Yeah.
that we were. Yeah. There's not many people that try and go in at a 2 barrel system.
No, absolutely not. And I know trying to get cans of your beer is like impossible. And we have an in. This is like, come on.
Sure, text away,
Yeah,
man.
no, I don't like to do that. But
We
no,
should.
no. That's not. I want your consumers to get it because that's fair. But you guys have been on the podcast before. You're the third time guest, and the first time we interviewed you, it was to kind of go over pre-opening. I remember sitting in the brewery, and we were discussing.
still in construction
Yeah,
at
and
that point.
you were like, I haven't seen my wife, and I have to paint the fucking ceilings after this. And I listened to some of the raw audio, and I was like, oh yeah, he had to paint the ceilings, and then you asked us our opinion on the light fixtures, and you went with the other option. So what was wrong with my opinion? No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't have a vote.
That's all right. No, but
general aesthetic things are not my area of expertise.
But I remember talking with you early on about Channel Marker, and you said you wanted to be. I have the quote actually. Let me get it up.
Ooh, a quote.
You know, I did some
Quote
things.
you say.
You said that you wanted the New England style IPA. The New England style IPA was going to be the beer that you focused on.
Yep.
But the beer you're probably known for is not a New England style IPA. Yes. Talk about the beer you guys are probably known for right now.
So right now, I would say that if you were to ask anybody about Channel Marker, it's going to be the fruited sours that have really kind of put us on the map.
Yeah.
Which is,
I mean, you guys have New England style IPAs.
We do, yeah. And we love them. Never going to stop brewing those, and we always think that we can get better at those. And it's not that our sours can't get better, but it's the feedback that we've gotten so far has been just really positive on the fruited sour beers.
So that wasn't even a day one recipe for you guys, because I remember you guys had 3 New England IPAs, and then you had a stout.
Yep.
Correct?
Porter.
A porter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and chocolate.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
Commodore.
Now, where did you guys go down the road of doing kettle sours?
Yeah. So before we actually opened, when we were home brewing out of my garage, we were brewing kettle sours pretty frequently.
Yep.
There was a learning curve and also a caution from some other breweries that were like, just get yourself settled, get yourself brewing on your ales, get your ale program going, test out some darks before you really start to dive into doing any sort of bacteria incorporation into your brew house, because
especially on a small system.
On a small system, if you have any sort of contamination, you're going to lose everything. So that we took to heart. And when we finally made the decision to do a kettle sour, we ended up having to, on the homebrew level, we were kettle souring in something like 24 hours. The first time we kettle soured at Channel Marker, it took just about 72 hours for the wort to hit the pH level that we like our sours to finish at.
Yeah.
And trying to tie up your boil kettle for 3 days at a whack when
That's a lot of time.
you're trying to brew as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's a big ask.
Yeah.
And just a lot of lost production time and tying up your brew house. So it was for those reasons, one, just being diligent about, knowing what we like, talking to enough people about how to, handle bacteria in your brew house and make sure that you're not introducing infection possibilities to other places or other beers. That was really important for us right out the gate. And then 2, once we did the first one and we realized how long it was going to take on the brew house, that, really kind of set us back and just, we took a pause to kind of look at the brewing schedule and figure out a plan that was going to work.
Yeah. No, the series is called Siren, right?
That's the first series.
That's the first series.
So what I brought for you guys today, can of now, is Propeller.
So
Straight popsicle.
Good. Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
that's going to be the theme of that series. So we're kind of
Popsicles.
Yes. Frozen treats. We did some
good.
frozen treats with the Siren series. We've got I think a pina colada style that we do. We've got a key lime pie, but really kind of focusing more on that, like if you're going to go into the freezer section of Market Basket and you go to get your kids popsicles.
This is straight like creamsicle.
Yep.
Like there's no doubt. Like, this is exactly what it tastes like. It's crazy.
It's good to
so
hear.
You nailed it.
Well, that was my partner Tim and Jake that really kind of wanted to push the envelope with the sour beers and figuring out kind of other flavors besides just adding fruits.
Yeah.
To drive our sour program.
Definitely.
We're also
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
doing a amped up version of Siren in the next few weeks as well.
Ooh.
So we're really excited about what that's going to look like.
What does that mean? Amped up sour.
So we ended up putting a beer into the Mass Brew Bros. They did a blind taste testing right before COVID started.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Yep.
We threw in a log of our triple berry Siren, and that actually ended up winning. I think one of kind of the
Congrats.
not IPA, not lager category.
Right.
So that triple berry is the most fruit we've ever done in a sour beer.
Gotcha.
The next iteration of Siren will actually we're going to be introducing more fruit than we've ever done before.
Even more.
Even more.
Even more.
Just when you thought.
And also while boosting the ABV.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're going to be we're really excited to see how that comes
Yeah.
out in the next couple of
Yeah.
weeks.
No, for sure.
I know for sure going to Channel Marker, I don't get I'm going to a brewery for my girlfriend because there's a beer for her there.
Yep.
Was that part of the decision to, have a beer for everyone?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about the other breweries that are around Beverly, Gentilly and Backbeat certainly have a more of a like traditional style, English style brewing catalog. We don't have that. We're definitely much more kind of modern, and I guess some would say trendy. Hype.
Yeah.
But that's kind of that's where we want to play.
Yep.
Old Planters, I think, kind of spans the spectrum in terms of they've got some old styles, they've got
got a
some new
little
age
of everything there.
IPAs,
Yeah.
they've got some sours. So they kind of run the gamut. They've got the biggest brew house in Beverly, so I think they
Can kind of do that.
they can do that, and they've earned that right
Yeah.
through their hard work. So our hats are off to them. But yeah, certainly we're going to kind of stick on the hype style beer train.
Yeah.
But with that said, we are going to try our hand at a dark mild
Ooh.
in a
Alright.
couple of weeks. So
Nice.
it's something that we've all been kind of talking about with the cooler weather coming. What we've noticed on our beer garden is that folks have enjoyed having a lighter offering.
Yeah.
With the cooler weather, we didn't want to offer them kind of a 6.5% or 7% porter.
Right.
And while we did like our amber that we brewed a lot in the fall last year, we kind of just wanted to try something new.
Yeah, why not?
And I've been doing a lot of reading about dark milds, and I think it's going to be a real challenge for our brew house because we've only historically brewed beers that are 6.5% plus. So to try and brew something that's like sub 4, I think is just a cool
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. So Tim and Jake are game, and we're going to give it a go.
Yeah. One thing I find that's interesting about your brewery is you do have trendy beer, but a lot of times I think sometimes with trendy beer you don't get the same quality. Sometimes you see people just chasing a trend to chase the trend. But you guys have kind of not set the trend, but you guys are trying to be as good as you can within the trend. So
Yep.
do you see yourself sitting with the kettle sour and IPAs, New England style IPAs for a while? Or because you guys didn't really get into like the pastry stout game,
Nope.
so it's like you're at home with those two styles. Kind
Yeah. The pastry stout has not been for lack of, I guess, want. It's a big being on a 2-barrel system, trying to cut any sort of profit or just enough to pay the bills.
Right.
You have to basically max out your fermenters. So we're typically putting in more than the recommended amount based on the specs on the tanks. So we know we're kind of pushing that to the limit. If we were to try, we did the Black is Beautiful and we were able to get that up to 10%, but the yield on that batch was quite a bit lower than what we typically find in like a kettle sour, which we're adding boatloads of fruit to. The IPAs, we're kind of accounting for the fact that we're going to have some loss due to the dry hop, but we're still able to put enough into the fermenter to make it worth our while. But for those stouts, to collect wort that has the gravity needed to hit that 10%, you're really sacrificing on the volume, and that's kind of just a business decision that we had to make. Purely for financial reasons. It's not because we don't want to be brewing pastry stouts. We absolutely do. And hopefully during an expansion. On the
How
horizon.
often do you brew then at this point? If you're like max capacity, are you brewing like twice a day, every day?
No, we don't have the fermentation capacity to do that.
Okay.
So right now we're brewing every 3 days.
Gotcha.
And that says
That's
we
still
cannot go any
a ton.
faster.
Yeah.
So that's we're killing ourselves.
And you're doing double batches or just a single
Single batch.
batch?
Yep.
That's okay. Only single batch. That's nice.
Something that's kind of we found in doing some collaborations with other breweries and talking to other breweries, something that's a little more unique to our brew house is that we run a full CIP, which is a clean in place process, after every time we brew.
Yeah.
So that means we're running a clean in place on our boil kettle, on our heat exchanger, all of our
It's probably
fittings.
smart. Everything you're doing.
A lot of breweries will, they have the ability to basically mash, drain into their kettle, boil, knock out, and during the boiling process, they're actually starting a second mash.
Yeah.
But we like to fully CIP the boil kettle before we actually put any more wort in there. We're an electric brew house, whereas a lot of the other ones that we've talked to are partnered with or collaborated with are steam powered. We've just found that with the heating elements that sit inside the kettle, they really collect a lot of the nasties that you don't want to end up in another beer. So we just kind of made the decision that we're going to just we'll brew once a day, and we're happy with that.
Yeah.
And
better safe than sorry.
better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
We've
Especially
never,
with
knock on wood, we've never had an infection. So.
Right. Find it. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Safe.
So when I first interviewed you guys, it was you, Jake, and then Tim was not there, but I know Tim.
Yep.
And at that time, the three of you still were working your full-time job.
Yep.
Jake was a chef at a private school.
Yep.
And Jake was and Tim was a personal trainer.
Yep.
And you were in the financial world.
Yep.
Are you guys still all working your full-time jobs?
I am. Tim and Jake have gone full-time at the brewery.
Cool.
Jake was the first to make the leap. I want to say he started...
And he's the head brewer.
He's the head brewer right now for all intents and purposes, yep. So he's there. He started in I think, September. August, September, he left his kitchen job at Pingree High School and went full-time at the brewery. Of
2019.
Of 2019, yep. At that time, Tim was doing roughly 50-50, a 50-50 split. We still weren't paying him like we should have, and that's certainly something that I wanted to change as quickly as we could. Once COVID hit, we very quickly realized that to really start cranking on the brew house, running all the processes that need to be run, managing an online store, just kind of getting ourselves set up so that we could continue to operate, we needed to bring Tim on full time. And he was at a point in his life where he wanted that. And so we made that happen. So now both those guys are there probably 7 days a week.
Wow.
60 to 70 hours a week.
Jeez.
Grinding.
Good for them. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
My hat's off to them because they work a lot of hours.
Yeah.
So you guys have grown as a brewery with notoriety.
Yep.
You guys have not grown physically.
Correct.
Is there plans to grow physically?
Yes.
Yeah.
So right now, my area of focus has been on securing, one, putting together a growth plan, two, lining up basically a floor plan, working with a contractor, the one that built our brewery before, and now we're in the process of working with the bank to secure the financing to do that expansion.
Nice. Now expansion at the same location that you're
Same
at?
location, yep.
Great.
So
Cool.
behind us, there's another 600 square feet worth of basically art gallery. And for the longest time, our landlord was not open to talking about allowing us to take that over. That conversation changed earlier this summer when I approached him and said, listen, you're never going to have an art show in here for the
Especially
foreseeable
during
future.
COVID.
Yeah. So, you're losing artists left and right. They're walking away. So, are you open?
use
Are you
this,
open
right?
to it? We want to grow, and
Yeah.
if it's not going to be here, then we just need to know so that we can start looking at other spots. And he said, no,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah.
Let me work on that.
Let's work out a deal. So he gave
make a
us
deal.
That's awesome.
really favorable terms. Right now, we actually have across the hall another, I don't know, probably 10 by 20 foot closet that we've taken over. We took that over months ago. We own.
Closet is nice.
No, we don't own, but we rent another closet down the hall. That's where our keg washer sits. That's where our chemicals sit.
Yep.
So we're starting to slowly take over the first floor. So, who knows what the future holds for us, but I'd love to think that we could continue to kind of invest in on the first floor of the Pour Mill.
Sweet.
So 2019 for you is huge.
Yep.
Notoriety, people understanding who you are, coming to your brewery location. We got to address the elephant in the room, though, COVID.
Yeah.
2020 hits.
2020 hit.
We're all
Yeah.
excited.
Yep.
So pre-COVID, you guys were not canning yourself. You guys were using State 64.
Yep.
Right. Awesome. Shout out to State 64. I think they do awesome.
Yep. Tim Little and his crew are great
Yeah,
people.
they are great people.
Yep.
And you guys were open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. And killing it. I mean, I remember going there in early February. I went with you, I believe. Or yeah,
The before time.
before and it being
Before the
packed.
big C.
Yes.
Yeah, I just remember it being packed there, and that was like one of the last breweries I went to pre-COVID. Talk about how it's changed things for you guys.
It's it's so crazy. Things changed literally overnight.
Yeah.
I remember there were a lot of breweries starting to shut down. The Gentiles made the decision to close their taproom. I think I want to say it was on a Friday or a Saturday. We
Right
said,
before like
literally right before the governor,
St. Patrick's Day, right?
right before the Governor Baker put a stop to everything. We ended up opening that Sunday, and that was it.
Yeah.
The word came in, bars, restaurants, everything's shutting down. We're shutting you down. So, we called a business meeting, and the three of us sat down, and we're like, all right, well, we're in this. We owe a lot of money to the bank right now, so we got to continue to make money. How are we going to do that? And it was a quick phone call to Tim Little to say, listen, I hope we're catching you early because we need to book as many canning dates with you
as possible,
like in the next 6 months. At the time, we weren't Craft Collective members, but he certainly gave us, a really good, just a great deal. We booked a bunch of dates, and we said we're going to just shift the cans.
Yeah.
And we know we've got to accept the fact that we're just going to make less money, but the idea is survival.
Yep.
And that's kind of been our mode since all this went down.
Was 2020 originally going to be the year of expansion, or was it going to be the year of?
We were like literally weeks away from pulling the trigger on investing in just a bigger brewing system. We were going to get rid of the 2-barrel and go 4. And honestly, not doing that is the best thing that ever could have happened to us.
Of course, yeah.
Well, congrats on that.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that. And it's there's still a lot of hurdles to go through with the financing. If anyone's done any sort of financing plans for breweries, that to do a bank loan is a lot of hard work. But I think we'll get there. Our bank has been so far great to work with, so we'll hope that continues.
Yeah.
But with that said, not investing in that 4-barrel has resulted in us being able to take over another 600 square feet of production space.
Yep.
So the plan is to put a 5-barrel brewing system there, 5-barrel fermenters with 2 5-barrel brights. So we're basically going to mimic what we did on the 2-barrel. We're just going to put in a 5.
Cool.
We're also going to keep the 2-barrel system
Pilot
fully.
stuff.
Yeah, pilot stuff that will service
One-offs,
taproom, collabs, whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll have 2 functioning brew houses, 1.5 and 1.2, and that will really allow us to do some cool stuff.
I remember wanting to go to Channel Marker. I would go to Notch, you guys, and I would go to East Regiment.
Yep.
And consistently, you would be the one that was sold out.
Always.
Which is good for you. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But is that because the Beverly community is just so kick-ass? I mean, Beverly supports Beverly.
Beverly supports Beverly. I think.
And you have good product.
Good product. Being named to the USA Today top 10 new breweries certainly gave us a spotlight that we were able to take advantage of, and doing a lot of the collaborations too, particularly with Widowmaker that really helped us out to kind of put our name out there,
especially in the South Shore.
So once we started launching the online store, I mean, it was like concert tickets. That's what we've been told by customers. Like, we got to get on there, like literally when the store opens, or we're not going to get any beer. So that was really cool to see, but it also was like disheartening because we were getting a lot of nasty grams saying, like, why can't I get your beer?
Yeah, I remember I put in my credit card and it said, "You have a can," and then all of a sudden it was like, "It's sold out," because I wasn't quick enough. No, it's a good problem to have for you
for a short period of time.
Yeah, for a short period of time.
Then you got to grow,
right?
Or people will kind of like get annoyed and walk away. I mean, I'd do that if I was a consumer.
But you're working towards that.
Working towards it. Bear with us.
Yeah, just a little longer, people.
We actually stopped doing the online store. So once Governor Baker allowed the breweries to open outdoor seating and indoor seating, we ended up basically putting together a 36 seat patio that's next to our building.
Yep.
And we knew that by doing that, we're gonna have to start kegging some of the beer. there's not going to be enough cans to make it worth even putting up on a web sale release.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna just got to come to us.
Yep.
So now we're
Taproom
tap room only. So now we're starting to see like we're not selling out instantly like we were before. We'll still get a line on a Friday for cans, but there's still we'll have stuff left over for the next week in a few cases, which is good.
Yeah.
More people are getting access to the beer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great conversation so far, but we do have to take a quick break. We'll be right back with a fresh beer.
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, and cheese.
Not sure where to start? The knowledgeable staff at Beer and Wine Hobby are there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. To learn more about them, check out their website, www.beer-wine.com. Don't
forget to use our promo code Brew Roots for 10% off your online order today.
Cheers. Have you been affected by the latest mandate where it's more safe to have a pretzel in front of you?
Pretzels don't count.
Okay. A sandwich in front of you with your beer,
not a peanut butter and jelly.
But has that affected you guys? Because you don't have a food license, right?
We do.
You do now.
We do.
Yay.
As of Monday.
Congratulations.
Channel dogs.
Channel dogs.
Channel dogs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
This is probably a story for another podcast, but basically, within Massachusetts, a lot of the determinations around what constitutes prepared foods comes down to the municipality.
Right.
Beverly, Salem, Peabody have all taken similar stances, which is following Governor Baker's guidance to the T. It's got to be prepared on site. It can't be something like a pretzel or an ice cream cone
or a bag of chips
or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's got to be something cooked. And for better or worse, that's the positioning that our town has taken, or our city. Other cities, other towns, other municipalities operate very differently. I was talking to the guys from Widowmaker and some of the vendors, the food vendors that have been operating down there, and they're allowing. Their cities are allowing people to go up to the vendor and wait in line for food and take the food back and show a slip to their, to the bartender and they get a beer.
We were just at Trillium. That was exactly the rule right there.
And that would not fly in Beverly. We would have everything taken away from us if we were to do that.
Wow.
So our customers have to be seated. They have to be served while seated.
Their first round. You have to have
first round. They got to be seated though. That's the key. So basically the onus is now on the food vendors. Can't be standing around. You got to be seated. So the onus now is on any of the food vendors we're working with to either walk table to table and take orders or have some sort of online system. That puts a lot of stress on our staff to then go ahead and confirm with all the customers, hey, have you placed a food order?
Yep.
Yes? Okay, can you show me your receipt?
Really changes everything.
It really changes everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if the food vendor hasn't given a receipt, they've got to go then to the food vendor and say, hey, table 3's ordering beers. Have they ordered food?
Yeah.
No? Okay, now I got to walk back and say, you didn't order food yet. Can you please order food?
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It's not. So anyways, we kind of put a bunch of calls into our city board of health and said, listen, this is like putting a lot of pressure on our staff. We're having food vendors that are showing up late or not at all.
No call, no shows.
No call, no shows.
Yep.
They might show up an hour late. We've got customer seating for an hour. We can't serve them. Like this is broken, and it's not happening in other cities. And we're watching customers go away to other cities because they're more lax. And so they were able to work with us. We are now we now hold a food permit. And we're able to boil hot dogs and provide those as our prepared foods to our customers.
Yeah.
You boil them in your beer.
Nice.
We're thinking about that. We're thinking about it.
Cool.
We haven't done any crispy boys lately,
Yeah.
but might be some ale. some
Yeah.
ale
Some
boiled
experiments.
dogs,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
channel
Why not?
dogs.
Why not?
Channel
So
dogs.
we call this thing Operation
it.
Hot Dog, and we got a big kick out of that going back
Yeah,
and forth
yeah,
for a
that's
couple
awesome.
of weeks. Operation Hot Dog. So now we're going to be slinging dogs.
Cool.
What goes better than dogs and beer?
I don't know.
I love hot dogs
yeah,
and
I do
beer.
too.
It's great.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So, we're the plan now, anyways, is to use that kind of as our hedge.
Definitely.
In the event that a food vendor cancels.
Right.
Last night we had some old buddies of mine that wanted to do their fantasy football draft at the brewery in the
That's
patio.
a thing right now.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
All right.
And they were super jazzed, so we got the hot dog boiler
That's
fired
awesome,
up.
though.
And we're just, it's a means for us to be open if something goes bad or we just want to do some more hours or things
Of
like
course.
that. So
Absolutely. So not how you expected to spend your 2020.
no.
No, not at all.
So yeah, I mean, there's just so many stories.
Yeah, we could get into it for sure.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys other than the expansion? I know you guys have a canning line and all that stuff, but beer wise, what are you guys going to be doing for the fall and the winter?
So I think I mentioned we're going to try our hand at the dark mild.
Yep.
See how that comes out. Once we do get the expansion online, we would love to get a lager program going.
Yeah.
We did a pilsner
Yes.
last summer, and then we did one again. We released it like early in the summer, and then we did it again in September. Smooth Sailing. It's our Czech style pils.
Very
Love
cool.
that beer, but it sits in a tank for like 4 to 6
tanks. You
weeks.
Oh,
can't
it's
have
tough.
that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't
When
have
you're
that.
two
Especially
barrel,
only two
five
barrels, yeah.
5 tank operation. You just gotta be
Yeah.
turning them over as fast as you can. So, and then we did a dark lager later or earlier in the winter time before COVID. Love to bring that back. So
I
hopefully
love
doing
the
some more
dark
lagers.
lager. Yeah.
Has
That'd be awesome.
has COVID allowed you to kind of slow down and do more collabs? I know that you guys did one with Widowmaker. You guys did one with oh my god, I have it all.
Someone
Lost
else.
Shoes,
Lost
French and Blade.
Yep. I wouldn't say it's necessarily been slowing down.
Yep. But kind of take a pause and maybe do things that you weren't able
Yes.
to do when it was crazy.
Yep. Yeah, so definitely reaching out to more breweries and inviting them in and going to their places and things like that. So with Widowmaker, we brewed a double IPA up there.
And they have a huge system, so brewing
Huge.
in that system's kind of
Yeah, I
cool,
mean,
right?
it's the dream system.
Yeah.
It's a 20-barrel SS Brewtech, fully automated. Like, the interface is just... It's just
It's
awesome.
all right. They said when we interview them, you just push a button. It's
They-
a little bit more, but yeah.
There's definitely more.
Yeah, but
the buttons that they push do cool shit.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
do you have any collabs that you want to do that you haven't done yet? Dream collabs.
oh, gosh. Yes. I mean, I'd love to collab. I harass Dino at Vitamin C weekly.
Yeah, you guys should. You
would
guys
be
were
a
both on the
perfect
list.
collab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell him.
All right,
We'll,
Dino.
we'll
We know.
harass him
Come on,
too.
Dino.
We'll
Yeah.
reach out.
We want to. JC, I bug quite often at Trillium.
Mr. Trillium.
Mr. Trillium.
Mr. Trillium, yes.
An incredible resource. I mean, that guy doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Anytime I have a question about a part, hey, we had what we call nucleation during a dry hop recently, where we added hops into an very actively fermenting IPA, and I had to basically put my hand over the top because
Yep.
it started to erupt.
Yep.
And we had to remove my hand because we had to cap it. And I remember like sending JC a picture of me covered in hop gunk.
Yep.
And he's like, dude, rookie. Here's all the stuff you need to make that not happen again. And we
That's
went out
great.
and did that stuff
Yep.
and haven't had a problem since.
Yeah.
But he's just a guy that like,
He loves the
what a
industry.
treasure trove of
Yeah.
knowledge and loves the industry.
That's
and
awesome.
I hold him up in the highest regards and would love to, do something with him someday.
So
Very
when
cool.
we did our episode nearly 2 years ago. You
Crazy.
also said you wished you told yourself when you first started to ask the bank for more money.
Oh,
Is that still the same
Always.
answer now?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I loved Tim Little and I love State 64,
Yeah.
but the moment we were able to, get our own canning line, you just you take back some of that control. Even on the brewing schedule, because with
You
Tim-
work around their schedule almost, right?
Yeah, basically, during once COVID hit, Tim Little had to increase his threshold.
He was going like 7 days a week.
I think he still is.
Yeah.
But he was going 7 days a week, but he was having to make a tough choice because to go to little Channel Marker who's doing 4-barrel batches or four barrels because we got 2 brights. He's like, dude, I'm gonna have to come here every other week now because I've just got there's too many breweries I got to hit. I'm leaving money on the table. He's like, I'm sure you can appreciate that, which we did.
Yeah.
So that resulted in us basically having to do canning runs every other week because we were then using 2 of our fermenters as carbonation tanks.
Yeah.
And it was like a Tetris game trying to make sure the beers were going here and there. And we got to brew while we're while we're canning so that we can be pushing beer into those tanks and refilling them for the next 2 weeks.
Jeez.
So having a canning line up front, I think would have probably made that phase a little bit easier. Just a bigger brewing system. Just have more money in the bank. I mean, there's all kinds of toys that we would want. Just kind of take what you think you need, double it, triple it, and that's probably closer to what you actually need. Now that said, we were on budget with our phase 1. So, I was really proud of that because oftentimes during construction you get scope creep
Way off.
and you're way off, but we weren't. And I attribute that to good planning on our part, also working with just really good people, architect, contractor, electrician, plumber, things like that. And
you guys did a ton yourselves too.
Not all that much. No, the painting.
Yeah, okay.
Which
Just the
if I could go back and ask for like $1,000 or $2,000 more to do the painting, I'm going to say this, and I hope Tim and Jake listen to this episode. When we started the construction project, I said the thing that I don't want to do, that I hate the most, is painting. And they were both like, "Oh no, we got it, dude. No worries. Like it's not going to be that bad." And I bet the next time you see those guys, ask them, do they ever want to pick up a paintbrush again? And I bet they're going to say,
I will definitely ask them.
You should definitely ask them.
Definitely will.
Because they're going to laugh. Yeah.
And let's just take a quick break and hear a word from our sponsors. This week's episode would not be possible without our amazing sponsor, Shirts on Tap.
Each month, they team up with breweries from across the country and create a custom shirt and deliver it to your doorstep, along with stickers and coupons.
Sign up today using the promo code Brew Roots for $5 off your first box.
Head on over to shirtsontap.com today. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brew Roots sent you.
Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
We've touched upon it a couple times, but you guys were the 9th best new brewery in the United States.
Yeah.
How did you find out about that you were in the running, or did somebody say, "Hey, dude, you're on this thing"?
Somebody, I don't remember who it was. I think I got a text message saying, "Hey, did you?" And it might have been a coworker at my old job.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, check this out. You're on USA Today," and I was like, "No, we're not."
What did I do?
What did I do? And I think my first question was they must want money or something for us to be involved with this, but it really wasn't. It was, a panel of people that within the brewing community have a voice and are heard and listened to, and somehow they found out about us. To this day, I don't know how.
Do you think it was you guys work a ton with hop culture?
Yep.
Do you think that was kind of part of it, or
that could have had a piece in there? Certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
So those guys are great. Hop culture is great.
Yeah. So you learn about it and you see yourself as number 9.
Yeah, I think when we started off, we bumped to 7.
Yeah.
Then after 3 or 4 days of the voting that had been open, we went to 14. And then
you guys made a big push, I remember.
Made a big push.
Yeah.
And let's just during the last week, we just kept jumping every day. and then the polls closed like the last 2 days of voting, so you didn't know where you stood. So that was kind of stressful because we knew we were like right on the cusp of being like we were. I think when they stopped showing who was like the leaderboard, we were like 11. So we're like, oh man, maybe we can sneak in at 10, and then we came in at 9. It was like, holy shit, like, this is so cool.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
is that a cool thing? I mean, like, you see your gear now, people wearing your stuff. I've seen Channel Marker things on the train.
It's just so cool. It's
On the train specifically.
no, but I mean, I always think of like,
you've been riding the train, huh?
no, I haven't been, but I mean, I always think of like, we talked to Rob Burns from Night Shift, and he was saying he remembers going to Logan Airport and seeing somebody wear a Night Shift hat for the first time, and it was like the coolest moment. Do you have that kind of moment where you saw?
Sure. Yeah, it's very humbling. Very humbling. Yeah, and you know, it's just you appreciate the support that people have for you, and you know, I certainly wear lots of brewery shirts, and I hope that they, you know, feel the same thing I do.
Yeah.
Which is just an immense amount of pride and you know, and purpose.
Yeah.
Feeling like we're doing good things if people are out there being willing to support us and you know, wear our brand in public. You know, every day you read about some company doing something shady, or you know, somebody goes on Twitter and rants about them, and then that kind of takes their brand down. And you know, I hope to God that never happens to us. But every time I see a shirt or a, you know, a T-shirt or a sweatshirt or a hat out there, or a sticker on a car or something like that, it's just makes me feel so much pride.
Untapped. Is Untapped important for you guys?
Hugely.
You are the only brewery to tell me that.
It's
not really, but
Well, with the hype beers, I
mean,
think
if any brewery that's brewing like hazies or putting their hat on the fruited sour train, if you're not looking at Untapped, then you're, in my opinion, you're probably lying.
Yeah.
Because to be able to draw in new customers, and that's something that we look at very closely on a monthly basis. That I look at is, you know, how much new business are we doing versus repeat customers, and for us being on the hype train, you want to see new customers constantly coming through your doors looking for your stuff, and in order to drive those new customers to your doors on the hype train, in my humble opinion, you need to have highly rated beer
on Untapped. You know, so many people come in, they're like, oh yeah, I saw it, you know, like you guys are, you know, a 4.08, and that's, you know, super high for this in a 75-mile radius. I don't know, we're like between 7 and 12th ranked on Untapped, and you know that they'll find breweries that way, particularly if they're looking for those hype beers. Yeah.
So we do look at it pretty closely.
When you see someone, you know, rate your beer and they say they don't like sours or something like that, what's that typical feeling for you? I mean, that's like, to me, that's like the worst review.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to give you a 1 star because I don't like the style.
Well,
but
that's exactly right. And you know,
do you wish that could change for Untapped? Like maybe not.
I don't think it's kind of really not my place to say whether it should, because it is what it is, and I don't have control over that.
Yeah.
So it's not something I can control. What I try and tell Tim and Jake and myself is that, like, listen, you're going to have kind of opposite ends of the spectrum.
It's a sine wave. Basically.
It's a sine wave, right? And you're going to have the lunatic fringe.
Yep.
And there's going to be people that rate beers based on them liking or not liking styles.
Bell curve. I mean bell curve. Bell curve.
Yeah.
Bell curve. Yeah.
Where you need to focus your eyes is like on the middle.
Right.
What's the average, what's the general populace saying about your beer? And that's kind of where you got to focus on. It's not going to be like your fanboys. It's not going to be the haters. It's going to be like, what's the average, what's the median population think about your beer? With that said, you know, I'll definitely go in if somebody rates our beer poorly and it's more because of taste, or maybe they pick up a note on a hop that they don't particularly like, or they think that the beer was undercarbed or whatever it may be. That's when I'll start digging into their check-ins and saying, like, okay, if they think our beer is a 3.75, what's a 4.25 for them?
Yeah.
Or what's a 4.5? And then I'll start looking. And if I see, like, okay, they're checking in beers at a couple other breweries only, and they're giving them 5s, they might just be dinging us because they're trying to support their buddies, which is fine. We all do that, and that's cool. But I use it as a tool to influence, you know, our desire to constantly brew better beer.
Yeah. That's a great tool to how to use it, though.
Yeah, it's I don't. If there's another tool out there that you can get better feedback on, like please let me know. You guys talk to a lot more breweries than I do. So
no, I mean it used to be Beer Advocate, and now it's like nobody fills out a Beer
Yeah, I
Advocate
mean I look
thing
at
anymore.
Beer Advocate maybe twice a year just to kind of check and see what's out there. I also Google us and just see kind of
Right. Yeah.
If
is there anything out there I need to be aware of.
I know it's not your place, but if there was one thing you could change about Untapped, what would it be? We've heard people say they wish it was out of 10 instead of 5.
Oh, but you can't. Well, not out of 10, but if you pay for their service, if you become a supporter, I think you do have the ability to create decimal point ratings. So if you if you wanted to rate something like a 4.1, if you pay the $30-$40 whatever it is to Untapped, you can assign like
a 0.4
a decimal point rating to beers, which I think is they should just open that up. That'd be one thing I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Particularly on the brewer's side, I'd love to see. I mean, you have to pay for it, but it'd be nice if we could just get some access to free analytics.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so I want to get to know what you're drinking now in your fridge. Before you said you're drinking a lot of Treehouse.
Still drinking a lot of Treehouse.
Still drinking a lot of Treehouse.
Still drinking a lot of Treehouse.
What else is in your fridge, though?
Right.
There's so many good breweries around you.
There are.
Yeah.
I don't get out. I mean, being in Boston, I would say Trillium is definitely a brewery that between them and Treehouse, that's pretty much what my fridge is full up on. Trillium, I think, has just absolutely knocked it out of the park this summer with the throwback brews that they've been doing, their collabs,
Daily servings.
daily servings. I mean, they're just crushing it.
Yeah.
They're crushing it. I
Yeah.
mean, those daily servings are deadly. Those
So
things are
juicy.
And that
so
Black
good.
is Beautiful
So good.
beer that they did with White Lion was
Amazing.
real.
I did not get that. I did not get that.
It was so good. It was. I did not have yours, but
Yep. So they've been knocking it out of the park. I've also been enjoying, and I don't know if I said this to you before, but Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
yeah,
How could you
Good
not?
standby.
have
Man,
that?
that's
I
so
mean,
good.
Come on.
it's such a good beer to revisit after
Right,
not having
yeah.
it for a while.
Yeah. Kind of ebbs and flows. Like I hadn't drank it for I don't know, probably eight to 10 months, and I had a couple of them like
You have
sitting out
another
at a
bottle?
barbecue. Out of a bottle.
Yeah, it's.
Nice.
I know.
So good.
I don't know why. It's like I had it out of the can and then out of the bottle. I was like, "Holy shit! I miss drinking beer out of a bottle."
Yeah, it was great.
it was
great
weird.
experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that predominantly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any guilty pleasure beers still?
I had a couple of Corona extras recently.
That's fine. Those
with
are good.
limes.
Yeah, they're
that
good.
There's nothing wrong with that.
they're so good.
It's
Yeah.
so good. It's a great.
Is it the
summer beer.
beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
It's
perfect, beer.
And I actually had a couple of PBRs with my brother-in-law
Okay. All right. all
on
right.
his boat up in
That's
Maine.
cool.
So that was on a pontoon boat. So I felt like
Yeah,
it was,
that's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
gotta
perfect.
pass
No.
that one
that's
too,
like
right?
Definitely.
So those were cool. Those were cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Any plans for you to do any do you have any collabs worked out right now
So
that you can talk about?
Yep. So tomorrow, Tim and Jake will be packaging into cans a sour beer that we brewed with Widowmaker.
Oh, cool. Did they brew it up there? Or did you brew it with them?
They came up here.
Oh, great.
Very
This
cool.
was
Ryan
like 2
and
weeks ago.
Chris?
Ryan and Chris.
Yeah, they're the
Nice.
man.
They're
They're the
Yeah.
man. They're the men.
They're the.
Yeah.
Ryan
I
is
love them. Did
you guys
they're
listen-
really great.
nicest
people.
guy.
Did you guys
Yeah.
listen to really dark music when you guys brewed it?
Heavy metal.
You know, I'm ashamed to say I wasn't there the day
Okay.
that they brewed it. I was working the day job in Boston,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and that's just kind of the way it goes.
That's
but
life, man.
I'll have to ask Tim and Jake on
Yeah.
what music they listen to. It could have been death metal.
Yeah.
Oh, it was probably
Stoner metal, I think.
Yeah,
is a big-
stoner
Yeah,
metal.
yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, just amazing guys. Just I can't say enough good things about them and
Right.
and the stuff and the ship that they run over there.
Yeah. You guys are kind of like a good compliment brewery to them, I feel like.
Absolutely.
They're definitely what we aspire to be
Yeah.
at their
Yeah.
size and scale. They're just killing it.
Definitely.
So we brewed that sour. That we dry hopped, which is something that we
that's
have never done with our sours.
Cool.
So we dry hopped it with Citra and Azaka, and then we tossed on pineapple and mango puree,
Ooh.
and then we hit it with about 9 pounds of marshmallow fluff,
Oh, jeez.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
I can see
which
that.
is just super cool.
Yeah,
Like,
that is
yeah.
cool.
yeah.
That's cool.
It's kind of crazy.
Dumping Tim kind of ladling the marshmallow fluff in,
Yep.
during active fermentation was quite a trip,
Oh.
but we got it all in there
Oh my god.
with a little bit of blow off, and that was
crazy.
cool.
There's so many brewers who are like dying, and then there's so many brewers that are like, "Fuck yeah, man, that's awesome." So I know.
Or
Whatever.
the haze, or, was it the haze train or whatever?
Yeah.
So we got that one, and then in a couple of weeks, we're actually going to have Faces and Stellwagen
Oh wow, like a three-way
Yeah.
collab.
come
That's
up.
awesome.
We did invite Mass Landing, but Maine is really strict
Yeah.
with their COVID travel restrictions, so
Yeah.
they had to decline on the brew day. But interestingly enough, between those 4 breweries, there's some others in the area, but us, Faces, Stellwagen, Mass Landing are all owned in part by Endicott College alumni.
Oh wow.
What?
Well, that's kind of cool.
What?
Yeah,
That's right.
Kind of crazy.
Random, yeah.
Random. And so because we're in Beverly, I went to Endicott. Jake went to Endicott.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
We have a pretty close connection there.
Definitely.
And they reached out to us and said, "Hey, our homecoming weekend is like the weekend of September 25th, and because of COVID, we're actually going all virtual
it's
this
gonna be
year
on
with
Zoom.
all the it's going to be on Zoom. All these events that we had planned to be on campus for alumni weekend are now going to go virtual.
Yep.
We think it would be really cool if we could do kind of a tasting with you, your brewery, and we'll do it via Zoom, and any alumni can log in. What do you think of that?" And I was like, "Great idea. How about we make it better by brewing a collab, and we get the other breweries that have Endicott
Right.
ownership
Right.
on board to brew that collab, because there's Faces is in Malden,
Yeah.
Stellwagen's on the South Shore. Like
Yeah.
I've always wanted
Easy.
to kind of like bring that.
That's a cool idea. Now,
So-
is it going to be Endicott themed?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is
Yep.
the Endicott theme?
So the Endicott. So
Is it like an eagle?
seagull.
Seagull. Sorry. The seagull. Okay.
Come on.
The Power Gulls.
Okay.
The Endicott Power Gulls. The world's worst mascot.
It's all right. I want you to go slow over the Riverhawks.
Yeah, I'll take Riverhawks over a seagull.
Yeah.
There was a big
Seagulls pick trash.
Christmas. There was like a big Christmas college
Rats
from
with
like
wings.
what I've heard. So
There's a
like
big what?
A Christmas college. Like they always like decorate shit.
It's
Like,
a
for
gorgeous
me-
campus. It was
like
awesome.
for me, it would be like spruce tips.
Yep.
Right.
Well, we're in September though, so we can't really do the spruce tip
That's
thing.
true.
So, anyways, so I got in touch with the other breweries and was like, "Hey, are you guys, down to come up? You could brew the collab here. We'll put everyone's name on it. Instead of just having Channel Marker do the tasting, we'll get everyone involved. We'll do kind of like a roundtable discussion on, how do we get started after college and whose garage were you homebrewing out of and blah, blah, blah. So they were all
That's cool.
like super jazzed about it. So they're all coming up next Friday to brew the beer. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Cool. Stay
The
tuned.
name is, it's a great day to be a gull.
Okay.
Which is a theme that's a saying that's said throughout the student body.
That's
not
cool.
officially Endicott's slogan.
Yeah.
Make that clear publicly. We're already warned about using Endicott's name
Yep.
or logos on the label. So
They didn't want you to do that?
I was surprised.
I feel like
was
they're
surprised.
asking you to do this because it's like student affairs probably asking you to
Yeah,
do
and I
this
was also
versus
like, all right, well, it's alcohol. It's an
Yeah.
undergrad population. They don't want their logo going on a beer can
Yep.
of a beer of size.
Yeah, I'm sure there
so.
were parents that might be pissed off about
Yeah,
that.
so I get it. But
Yeah.
but anyways, yeah. So that's the next collab. That's
Cool.
that's on the docket for us.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of our listeners have heard of Channel Marker,
Mm-hmm.
but if they haven't and they have got this far in the episode, where can they find you on the internet and physically?
On the internet, we just revamped our website. It's www.channelmarkerbrewing.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I'd have to look up the handle, but I think it's Channel Marker Brew.
Yeah.
Or Brewing.
We'll put it in the link below.
We are also on Twitter.
Yep.
We try and do updates on can counts. We find Twitter is actually a pretty good place to do that.
Yep.
So we post a lot of material on there.
We'll have to talk about using Twitter because we are so bad at it.
I don't get it, but let's continue.
It's real. Like we'll check because it's definitely a useful tool. But yeah, and then you can find us at 95 Rand Tool Street in Beverly, downtown, right on the corner of Fayette. We're in a big brick building that says the Porter Mill.
Yeah. And I can't stress this enough, actually. The Beverly scene is so awesome. Beverly has awesome restaurants. And you can make it a destination.
Yep.
You can go to Channel Marker, you can go to Backbeat, you can go to Old Planter, you can go to Gentilly and enjoy a full day of awesome breweries.
Yep.
So if you make your way out to Channel...
Plan your food strategically.
Yeah, absolutely. But the
Channel
Beverly...
dogs.
Yeah, the Channel dogs.
Yeah.
But the Beverly community is really cool.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I think we probably said this in the first interview. Being in our hometown was so important to us. I'm very thankful that we, kind of stuck to that and didn't go anywhere else. And being born and raised, there's just nothing beats, seeing the people that you've grown up with and respect and see, when you're out grocery shopping or at the parks and, being able to have those connections with people, I think is just huge for all of our businesses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So we bring it to the end of the episode.
My last question. What are you most proud of?
I am most proud of having a dream that resulted in my two best friends being able to carve a living.
That's
doing
really
it.
cool.
Boom.
Yep.
Mic drop.
Yeah. Short and sweet and awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Love it. It was awesome. That's
That was
good.
great.
Really good.
So, like we said, please make your way out to Channel Marker. They are taking all the proper precaution to keep you guys safe out there. And they have channel dogs now, which I'm going to throw down like 4 or 5 channel dogs one day.
They're gonna be good.
You should have a competition.
I may or may not be going to Maine in a few weeks to bring back red snapper dogs.
Damn.
All right.
Got to do it before my in-laws go back to Florida, but
Yeah.
that is
Faux show.
something I want to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Kick a red snappers around here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's true. Until next time,
Anyways.
we're gonna just have to have you on to be the fourth, the fourth guest or something
Exactly.
like that.
Love chatting with you guys.
Yeah.
You guys do a great program, and we'll continue to support
Hey.
you in any
Yeah.
way we
Thanks,
can.
man.
We appreciate that.
Appreciate the invite.
We have plenty more beers to drink and stuff to talk about, so you guys don't get to catch that because it gets really weird.
Yeah.
But we'll catch you next time and listen to the outro because Ryan is going to share some really, really cool noise.
Great bloopers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, thank you to our friend Justin from Channel Marker Brewing for doing this episode with us. We really appreciate you coming back and doing part 2 of Channel Marker's story because the stories really never stop after the first interview. Like, we are able to now circle back with some of these breweries that opened 2 or 3 years ago and kind of find out where they're at and ask a little bit more of the nerdy questions that I know that you, the listeners, really love out there.
And if you have a favorite episode that you would like to hear a wrap around to, let us know and we'll hit them up.
Yeah, and you know what else would help us out? I think on September 30th it is, right, Ryan?
Yes, National Podcast Day, baby.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's right. And if you guys know, we are hosting a little contest for that. Not really a contest, but we could make it a contest. We have stickers we might want to get rid of.
We got some swag.
Yeah, so if you guys share our episode, your favorite episode, on September 30th, and tag us,
And like us and follow us and all that jazz.
and all that jazz. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
We might send you a sticker.
And maybe some swag.
And maybe some swag.
And maybe a scented note from Ryan
Aw.
with his musk attached to it.
Meow.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan's not ready to announce his big news this week, so
You'll
we
just
will
have to stay tuned.
You'll have to catch it next week.
Until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's all I care
I
about.
can't hear anything that sounds bad.
Well, it's because you're not a sound engineer, Matt.
I wish I knew how to rap. I could rap to this. Brew Roots.
Good one, Eric.